Alright, it's been 1 year, so you know what that means? Happy birthday! Yeah. So 1 year, can you believe it? It went by really fast.
It went by really fast.
4 boxes later, here we are, back in the studio. We thought it'd be fun to celebrate and kind of catch you up on everything that's been going on. So, we're gonna reminisce, right?
Yeah, we're reminiscing.
Okay, so we're gonna reminisce where we were over the last 8 years. So 8 years ago, relatively today, we're doing this the day after because yesterday was Sunday, but so 1 year or 8 years ago from
8 years ago today,
we were registering the company. Shadow Tent had been developed, and that's why we decided to register the company. And we weren't even working on Victory Cubes yet, so it was just going. We were making lots of trips down to Vegas to show people the Shadow Tent.
Try to get some momentum.
Taking out our first ad, I think, in the linking ring, and registering the company. But the company was officially registered on June 24th. That's how we came up with that date, because that's when we filed with the city.
Yep.
So that was 8 years ago. 7 years ago, we were developing Victory Cubes.
And it was taking so long that we also developed bigger ones and Arabian framework.
Yeah, so that was a crazy year, but we felt like, wanted to keep the momentum in the Shadow Tent. Suddenly the ideas started to flow. We saw some interest in portable stuff. And you may not know this, but Bigger Wands was just a filler. We weren't going to release it, but because Victory Cubes were taking so long, we're like, we've got this fun little idea. We can have a local lady sew them.
Well, and in fact, we had a top name magician tell us, those will never sell. You really shouldn't do that. And then it became one of our biggest sellers ever.
And that's what we say all the time as we're putting together wands. We're like, these will never sell. These will never.
Yeah, I remember
by far
we did.
Our best seller ever. So that was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And then 6 years ago, we were working on 2 illusions simultaneously. And
that was kind of crazy.
That was really crazy. We were working on the B screens, and we were coordinating with the inventor of Bryce's screens, Bryce Chambers, and that was really a neat opportunity.
That was cool.
And then we were developing Trapless, which was, again, something in my show that we said, we can put this out there as a product. And we literally almost launched those right on top of each other. So that was crazy.
In fact, I remember being on a road trip and taking orders for both of those, actually. Because they'd come out that summer and we'd had to go, and I was on the phone, which one are you? I want your new product. Well, which one?
we were developing it. I think they came out in the fall, though, didn't they? I think it was.
Yeah, it probably was the fall. Oh, no, that makes sense.
Right in time for Halloween.
I think it was a Silver Dollar City run.
There you go. And, inside stuff. So then, so that was what? That was 7 years ago?
That was 6 years ago. So 5 years ago, we did another 2 of our most popular effects.
So Change Cap, we came up with the idea for the Change Cap as we were driving to Arches National Park to film the promo for the Shadow Tent.
Yep.
And we were with some buddies, and they were just kind of commenting on the fact that, man, this tent idea, how come someone didn't think of this sooner? What other common, overused magic items are there that we could modernize? And it was actually someone else's idea to put the Change Cap. Well, he said, what about the Change Cap? And,
what about the change bag?
Change bag.
Yeah.
And
what could we do with that?
A friend of ours said, whose name is Brian as well, Brian Riemann said, well, what if you, just a magician hobbyist, this guy, and he's like, what if you put it in like a baseball hat, like you pass the hat around, and then he kind of passed the ball to us and said, figure out how to make that work. And that consumed quite a bit of time. Obviously, we came up with it back in 2004, and it took all that development. And we launched it at the beginning of 2007. So, and then Cube Squared was right around that same time that we were developing the Victory Cubes. Was such a hit. And we had that factory lined up, and the square circle concept,
just made sense.
It just made sense, and we
then
had no idea how much sense it made.
Right? It's true.
That was a really popular item, and
it was one of my favorites. So portable, so easy. Yeah, it was one of my favorites for sure.
It was great. And then so that was that year, and then the next year, let's see, I'm gonna look up at my notes. Random Fate.
Fate.
We did the Random Fate, and that was became Random Drama, was what it became known as around here. And that one had a lot of, again, with same factory, but we ended up with most of the drama actually came from developing the DVDs. Many of you probably remember, so glad that's behind us.
Yeah.
But that was an exciting year.
Then we also did Pandora Bag and flashcards too, right?
Flashcards right around that same time, so that was a pretty crazy busy year.
It was.
Then the next year, so then we're at 4 years ago.
And now we're at 3 years ago.
We're at 3 years ago. I can't keep track of years. 3 years ago, we were working on Invisible Paint.
Right.
And what else? Is that?
We were also doing the 24-hour
did the 24-hour
sale.
sale.
The 24-hour birthday
I knew something big happened. So that was kind of the beginning of all this madness that we're experiencing, because that 24-hour sale was so crazy. And such a hit that we went, people like sales. So,
we're such geniuses.
We finally figured it out. So that planted that seed that, hey, we should do something crazy. But we skipped the next year. We didn't do anything because we kind of vowed that we'd never do anything that crazy again.
Yeah.
So we didn't do a 24-hour sale. We did a...
No, we did like a spring cleaning sale, didn't we, the next year?
Which spread out over a lot more time.
Yeah, so it wasn't 24 hours. We just did spring cleaning.
It wouldn't kill you.
But that next year
so 2 years ago from today,
right,
we were developing the flip switch.
Yeah, and I remember we had talked about doing this. We had talked about doing it for a while.
Yeah, we already knew.
And we knew we were going to do this grand finale thing. And so we were I remember we were going, should we release it or should we not? And we just thought, let's just do it.
We realized how long it takes to release a product,
right.
And we go, the odds are this thing will come out a month or two before. Right. And sure enough, we were hoping to get it in time for Christmas, but of course we didn't.
Right.
And so it came out 2 or 3 months before.
I think it did. I think we were taking pre-orders a little bit before that, but then it was actually released. Yeah. Right around
I think it was April.
Right
May.
As things started to get really fun.
And then 1 year ago.
1 year ago today. We were not sleeping. We were not eating because so many of you were so excited.
I was eating. I ate lots of cake.
That's true. You ate.
I manned the cell phone, which I didn't always answer, and I manned the emails. But Rebekah was on the main line. And I remember, like it was yesterday, trying to feed her carrots in between phone calls. Like, you have to eat something.
I can't be chewing. I'm answering another phone call.
But the phone lines were insane. I remember after about an hour of the phones just ringing nonstop, and Becca with the phone, we finally realized, we should get a headset. So
that was a good idea.
I ran to Walmart and bought a headset, which she used. And literally, it's just, I remember I'd do crackers and cheese and grapes and just anything I could set at her desk. And then luckily, 1 year ago today, by the date, the 25th, was the Sunday, and so we took that day off, which was much needed. And then 26th, 27th was right back in it, just crazy. And they were life-changing. We had no idea what this is so unheard of. And we'll never forget, 10 minutes before midnight, we literally said a prayer and went, what is going to happen? Our lives, are we going to go get jobs tomorrow?
No, let's just make sure we really feel good about this. We can still pull the plug.
We knew we couldn't pull the plug.
We were committed. We were committed at that point, and it was just kind of help us be calm and... Because
we were crazy.
Yeah.
But it worked.
It did.
It worked out for the best. And it's, we also weren't sure about the whole 2 years. We were like, we could probably get all this done in 1 year.
No.
But 2 years is absolutely...
We are so thankful
we thought 2 years would give us the ability to work on Teach by Magic more. And we
Not so much yet.
Haven't had as much time for Teach by Magic as we'd like. Yeah. So on that note, that is the full reminiscing of the last year. And we'll give you a few more insights to all of this as the probably next year when it all comes to an end. Yeah. But we wanted to talk a little bit about Teach by Magic and a little bit about, a lot of people are wanting to know what we're up to right now with the adoption and what we're doing with Teach by Magic. And so the adoption's an easy one to tackle. Nothing's really happening.
So we're approved. We're just waiting.
We've got lots of people rooting for us, and we sure appreciate all the support we get.
We know we've got
emails and people telling us they've told someone, and we're very confident it'll happen when it's supposed to. Right. So rest assured, we're happy, we're anxious, we're excited. And
we're enjoying our time.
We are. If you're following our blog, you've seen in the last year, thanks to your support, we've visited Egypt, we've visited Alaska,
Brazil.
We've gone to Honduras, we just got back from Brazil.
We're
so
making sure we're enjoying our time.
We basically say if another 3 months go by, we're going somewhere cool. So the next one's Disney World. We're taking a Disney cruise.
There you go.
Another 3 months go by, but
somebody get us a baby.
We could take that Disney cruise with a baby as well.
Yeah, we could.
So quick, get us a baby before we run out of money. And then Teach by Magic is going really well. We're just about to launch our new website, so in the next month or two, I should have a brand new website with all sorts of new tools and resources and It's just a more user-friendly design, so that's exciting. We're working on book 2, should be out by the end of the year. We're hoping this fall, so that's exciting. And then we just applied for a grant, so this is our please help us if you can. If you haven't already, a lot of you already have,
yeah.
And we sure appreciate that. But we, just at the last minute, this has been going on for months, and we just found out about this possibility to do this grant thing, and so we registered, we got approved, and so we literally had 1 week to get these 250 votes. And so at the point that we're filming this, we're at 100.
100?
So that just happened this morning.
We've got a couple of days left to get the other 150.
We have just a couple more days. So if you haven't done it already, please vote. If you've already voted, have your kid vote. Have your next door neighbor vote. Have your
family vote.
Mother-in-law vote. Yeah.
Tell all your friends on Facebook to vote.
Anyone that can vote. But it's more effective if you just, if you post it, we sure appreciate you pass it along. But if you literally sit down your kid and say, log in and vote, that's the way we found it. It's it's not as easy as we'd like it to be. It takes about 2 minutes. It's not time consuming, but you have to search for Teach by Magic.
Search Teach by Magic, then click vote.
So that's what you do.
Steps.
Click on the link, then log into your Facebook account. So you have to have a Facebook account. And then you search for Teach by Magic. That's the tricky part where people are like, well, I want to vote for these people, but how
do I find them?
So you just search Teach by Magic, and then click the little blue thing, and then we're one vote closer. And I think we could do it. We have so many great supporters out there. I really think we can hit the 250, and then I think we stand a good chance. They're giving away 12 grants of $250,000. And our company is just unique enough that they might award it to us. And just imagine what we could do with that. So that's exciting. But we are having a great birthday. There should be a cake showing up a little bit later on today. Becca told me about that just now. I didn't know.
We're getting another cake.
From the same cake place. And it was so yummy. So that'll be fun to reminisce that. And then we're just kind of taking a break. Box 4 just went out. And we'll get working on Box 5 here real soon. And, of course, we're working on the top secret item. So that's coming along nicely. It's quite exciting, so we can't really tell you much about that, but we'll be working on it, rest assured. And I think that's all we have for you.
Thank you again. You all of you have been such blessings. You've made this portion deal possible for us to be successful, but you've also made it so much fun. We've got some of the best customers in the world reading the stuff on Facebook, when we're posting clues and people are trying to figure out what's going in the box, and the number of thank yous that we get, we can't say thank you enough.
So you might have noticed I never used Facebook before, and I'm not a social media kind of guy. Surprise, surprise. People think he would be because he's marketing. But my personal Facebook account, the last picture has monkeys, and that's from 8 months ago. Yeah. So I never used Facebook. Rebekah actually said when we were about a year away from doing this, she's like, we should really be on Facebook if we're going to do this whole thing and embrace that. And now I'm a fan of Facebook. I'm having more fun with it. Of course, I'm still not doing it personally, but it has been so much fun to see what you guys are doing as you post your pictures, waiting for your boxes or open your boxes.
I love that.
One of you is opening up and filming videos as you open them. And sorry, I don't know who it is, don't know your name, but I've watched them and that's fun. And it's just been really cool to see the whole clue thing. We didn't come up with that idea. We just someone said post some clues.
Yeah, our customers asked for that on Facebook, and sure enough, that has been.
And I've already written all the clues for the next 4 boxes. That's and you'll see why whenever they all unfold. The clues, there's more clues to those clues than you guys think. I'll say that. Of course there are. There's clues within clues. There's clues about clues within clues. So anyhow, thanks for all the fun. This has just been, this last year has just been a life-changing, super fun year. And we look forward to one more incredibly fun year. And then who knows what next. But there's always Teach by Magic and the hope of, we're just hoping that one of these pictures suddenly has a baby in it. So
we would love to send you that one.
That's what we're looking forward to.
And we will.
So keep your fingers crossed, keep your arms crossed, whichever you prefer, and we appreciate it. So until next year, happy birthday, and keep that magic alive.